Why don't you just ditch the Boy Scout so we can be together without sneaking around? Just imagine finding that single question buried in a string of emails.
Yeah, it's like a digital breadcrumb trail, isn't it? But leading somewhere awful.
Yeah.
Heartbreak, yeah, but also something else. A calculated response.
Exactly. And this is the story of Nate and Lauren. They've been married 5 years, seemed happy, live in Brooklyn. And then one Monday morning, everything just shattered.
It often starts so ordinarily, doesn't it? Picture Nate, he's by the kitchen window, maybe the coffee's even a bit burnt, that kind of mundane detail.
Right. And his wife, Lauren, she's out for her usual run, but Nate's holding her iPhone. And there's this weight to it, even before he knows why.
And what's so striking here is how trust, that foundation, can just crumble. Instantly.
We faced with something like this.
He wasn't even snooping, not really. Lauren had this business trip coming up, Paris, something about arbitration, work stuff. Nate just wanted to, get the hotel details, maybe plan a little surprise when she got there, something sweet. The kind of thing you do in a happy marriage. Right. 5 years in, living their life in Park Slope, everything looked fine. On the surface.
But beneath that surface, wow, he opens her email, and the truth is just right there. Cold, stark.
This Paris trip, not just business, not even close. There's this other guy, Dwayne, a colleague.
And the emails aren't about legal briefs. They're planning.
Yeah.
Well, an affair. Explicitly. Lauren herself writing about making wonderful love all night in Paris.
The contrast is just brutal. Think about the life Nate thought they had versus that. It's devastating.
And the night before, literally the night before, they're in bed, she tells him, "I love you, Nate." How do those words even square with planning intimacy with someone else?
They don't. It's a complete betrayal. And then Dwayne's question, calling Nate the Boy Scout.
Yeah, that part. It's so dismissive. And for Nate, I mean, he was an Eagle Scout. Live by that motto, be prepared. Always. He's a lawyer, believes in doing things the right way.
So it's not just infidelity. It cuts deeper. It's an attack on his character, his whole way of being. The irony is thick, isn't it? Prepared for anything except this.
Exactly. This kind of personal wound attacking your core identity, it often triggers a really intense reaction, a need to maybe rebalance the scales somehow.
And Nate's reaction isn't immediate rage. No yelling, no confrontation right then, which is interesting.
No, he prints the emails, every single one. Physical proof. Then he tells Lauren he's got a client emergency, has to go to Richmond.
A complete fabrication just to get space, to think, to plan.
Right. He doesn't go to Richmond. He checks into a hotel in Manhattan. Arlo Nomad, under a fake name. He's not just hurt anymore, he's strategizing.
And that shift from victim to strategist, it's pivotal. It changes the whole dynamic of the story.
His first calls are crucial. His old law school buddy, Harry Mallon, who does divorce law.
Makes sense.
And a PI, Frank Rivera, someone Nate had used before professionally. And Frank apparently owed him a favor.
Ooh, a favor. That's often how these things escalate, isn't it? That favor becomes a key piece of the puzzle, or maybe the weapon.
Frank gets to work fast. Surveillance. Cameras. Not just outside the apartment, but this is chilling. In the treehouse, in their backyard.
The treehouse, wow.
Yeah, apparently Lauren loved that treehouse. Some connection to her childhood, innocence, whatever. And now it's a tool for surveillance. Watching her.
That twists something pure into something ugly. It really highlights the depth of the betrayal, how it taints everything.
So Nate goes back home. He has to act normal, right?
Yeah.
Watch Lauren. See if she gives anything away.
That must have been incredibly difficult. Looking for tells, for guilt.
But she's just casual, maybe a little secretive with her phone, a quick smile here and there. They even talk about Paris. She's all excited. Paris is going to be amazing.
And he has to play along. I can't wait. Knowing what he knows, that's some serious control.
Then Frank delivers the next blow. A USB drive. Footage.
Oh, no.
Dwayne. Staying overnight. At their place. In their bed.
That's the ultimate violation of their shared space, their intimacy. How did Nate react to that?
Methodically. It's almost scary. No tears, no shouting. He just starts making lists.
Lists? What kind of lists?
Financials, power of attorney, transferring accounts, filing for divorce, but key detail. Not serving the papers yet.
It's like he's systematically dismantling their life together, piece by calculated piece.
Wow. And the house becomes a major part of the plan. He reaches out to a house flipper he knows, Sam Granger.
Okay.
And gets a cash offer. Over market value. They meet at some diner, make the deal. quietly arranging to sell their home out from under her.
That's cold. Really cold. But clearly part of a larger strategy. He's not thinking about reconciliation at this point.
Not at all. Then comes the legal trap.
Yeah.
He drafts a power of attorney. Standard stuff, he tells her, for medical emergencies while she's in Paris. Just being prepared.
Playing on his Boy Scout persona,
Yeah.
the one she apparently mocked.
Exactly. But buried in the legal language.
Yeah.
He slips in a property transfer agreement for the house.
And she signs it without reading.
He banks on her trust, maybe her being busy with the trip. She even makes a comment about his Boy Scout preparedness. Signs it, just like that.
That's incredibly manipulative. Using her trust, her own words, against her. It shows how easily trust can be weaponized.
So while Lauren's packing her suitcases for Paris, excited about her trip with Dwayne, Nate is packing boxes, his own life, moving out, quietly.
Like a ghost leaving the scene before the bomb goes off. It's a silent departure.
The morning she leaves for the airport, he watches her go, waits, gets confirmation from Frank that she's boarded the plane.
Point of no return.
Absolutely. Then Nate goes back into the apartment. It's not their home anymore, not to him. He gathers her things, dresses, jewelry, the wedding album, that photo from their honeymoon.
What does he do with them?
Takes them out back to the fire pit, under the treehouse, and burns it all.
Wow, burning the past. That's intense. Symbolic.
His own wedding ring, though, he keeps that on, for now.
Okay, so the story shifts perspective a bit here, at least the name does. He starts going by Nick Sullivan.
Right, it's the same guy, Nate, but using this new name feels like a deliberate shedding of his old identity. He wakes up in that hotel near LaGuardia, having just met with Frank, the PI, Frank Delgado now. Slight name variation, but same guy.
That must have been a long, sleepless night. The sun comes up and he knows what he set in motion, the weight of that choice.
And Frank delivers more proof, more photos. Lauren and Dwayne, back at the house, his house now, in their bed again. Even in the treehouse.
So even after Nate's left, she brings Dwayne back there. It just keeps piling up. It reinforces Nick's feeling that he's doing, well, what he feels he has to do.
He meets with Harry again, the divorce lawyer, Harry Winston this time, and the talk is scorched earth. Nick is absolutely resolute. He wants the house, clean break, no negotiation.
The betrayal has completely hardened him. There's no room left for anything but retribution, it seems.
He even plays the part one last time. Sees Lauren off at the airport for her Paris trip. The dutiful husband act. Chilling, knowing what's coming.
While she's excited about Paris, he's thinking about legal documents.
Exactly. And that's where Maggie comes in. A notary. An old friend. And apparently, Maggie knew Lauren had cheated before. With someone else.
Whoa. Okay, so this wasn't the first time. That adds another layer, suggesting a pattern. Maggie knows what's up.
Seems like it. Maggie arrives with the final documents. Lauren rushes back home, forgot her passport or something. Nick catches her.
Perfect timing for him.
Presents the papers. Updated emergency planning, he calls it. More preparedness.
And Lauren.
She's in a hurry, trusts him. Maybe feels a little guilty about the trip, who knows. Maggie suggests she read them, but Lauren just brushes it off. Signs everything.
Finds away the house. Without a clue. Maggie gives Nick a look.
A knowing smirk, the story says. Nick confirms it quietly to her. She signed it all. The house is his.
That moment. The trust exploited, the legal maneuver complete. It's a major turning point, irreversible.
And almost immediately after, Frank's birdhouse camera catches Lauren bringing Dwayne back to the house. Again.
Unbelievable. Even after signing things she thought were for emergencies, she continues the affair right there.
So Nick stages a confrontation. Sort of. He goes back to the house, pretends he forgot his laptop.
Walks in on them.
Not quite catches them in the act, but Lauren's shock is obvious. Dwayne panics upstairs. The illusion is completely gone now, for both of them, though Lauren doesn't know the full extent yet.
That must have been a tense, awkward, horrible moment. But for Nick, maybe validating in a dark way.
He goes straight back to Harry's office, presents all the signed documents.
Including,
apparently, an affidavit of adultery that was cleverly disguised in the paperwork she signed.
She signed an admission of adultery without knowing it? That's audacious. What does Harry say?
Harry's reaction is basically, you are either brilliant or insane. Which kind of sums it up, doesn't it? The sheer audacity of the plan.
Yeah, it's meticulous, calculated, and crosses lines most people wouldn't even approach. Insane brilliance, maybe.
And things move incredibly fast then. By Friday, while Lauren's still in Paris with Dwayne, presumably having that wonderful time.
What happens back home?
Divorce filed. Property transfer officially recorded. The house. Listed for sale. Actually listed for demolition.
Demolition. Not just selling it. That's Taking scorched earth, literally, erasing it completely.
While she's gone, Nick is busy. Changes the locks, cancels utilities in her name, closes their joint accounts, moves into a rental in Long Island City.
Systematically cutting every tie, building a new, separate life.
He also starts therapy, starts going to the gym, trying to process the emotional fallout, maybe build himself up.
Which is important. This kind of thing takes a huge toll, even on the person enacting the revenge.
And then a final symbolic act. He boxes up her wedding dress, the album, sends it all to her parents, along with the divorce papers.
Oof. Sending it to her parents, that's making a very public, very pointed statement, severing the connection completely.
Then things take another dark turn. A call from the NYPD.
What now?
There's been an incident at the Ritz-Carlton in Paris. It involves Lauren.
Oh, God. Is she? Okay.
She's incoherent, covered in marker tattoos like graffiti all over her body. And Dwayne, he's in the ICU, seriously injured.
What happened? The story doesn't say exactly.
It doesn't detail the incident itself, just the state they were found in. Nick, of course, has a solid alibi. He was back in New York, confirmed by hotel security where he was staying.
So he's legally in the clear for whatever happened in Paris, but the scandal.
Yeah, word gets out. Frank, the PI, advises Nick to just stay off Google. Avoid the noise.
Good advice. The digital trail bites back.
Nick pushes forward, meets Sam Granger, the house flipper, uses the power of attorney Lauren signed, finalizes the sale.
The house is gone, officially.
He watches them change the locks on the place that used to be their home. Another door closing. Literally.
Must be a strange mix of feelings. Closure, victory, emptiness.
Maybe all of the above. Later, he's by the waterfront. He has the rest of their photos, but he doesn't burn these ones.
What does he do?
He just lets them go, discards them, leaves them for the city to take. A different kind of letting go. Maybe less angry, more final.
And Lauren. She eventually comes back from Paris, right? What does she find?
She finds her home gone. Her life turned upside down. She confronts Harry, the lawyer, tries to claim she was drugged when she signed the papers.
Does Harry buy it?
Not for a second. His response is blunt. No, Lauren, you did that yourself. Basically telling her her own actions led to this.
Harsh reality check. No easy way out.
Nick disappears for a while after that, goes up to the Adirondacks, needs to escape, process everything.
Self-imposed exile. Understandable.
When he comes back, Lauren's gone from her law firm. Dwayne left town. The affair completely imploded, taking their careers with it, sounds like.
The consequences ripple outwards, destroying more than just the marriage.
There's a final encounter, sort of. Nick runs into Frank, the PI.
Where is they?
Frank asks him, still Boy Scouting? And Nick just replies, always.
Yeah.
That word, always, has taken on such a different, darker meaning now.
Yeah, it's layered with everything that happened. Not about simple preparedness anymore.
And the very last thing. Nick sends Lauren a postcard from the Adirondacks.
What does it say?
Just this. Be prepared. Some scars don't fade. Some lessons last forever. And he signs it, Scout for Life.
Wow. A final chilling message. Tying it all back to the beginning, but with the weight of everything that's happened. Scout for life.
Yeah.
It's like embracing that twisted version of his former self.
It's an incredibly intense story. When you look back at the characters, Nate or Nick, he starts as this principal guy, trusting the Boy Scout.
Right, and the betrayal just fundamentally changes him. It hardens him, fuels this really calculated, almost cold plan for revenge.
His transformation really shows the destructive power of betrayal, doesn't it? How far someone can go when they're hurt that deeply. But his actions, effective, yes, but they raise questions about morality and what's the long-term emotional cost for him.
Definitely. And then there's Lauren. Initially, she comes across as capable of serious deception, prioritizing her own desires, that wonderful love all night over her vows. Selfish, impulsive, maybe.
But by the end, she's kind of a victim of Nick's meticulous revenge, social ruin, professional ruin. You're less wondering if she ever really gets the full scope of her own actions, or if she just blames Nick for how things ended up.
It's complex. Does the severity of Nick's response overshadow her initial betrayal? Or are they both just caught in this spiral of causing pain?
And Dwayne, he's the catalyst, really. Encouraging the affair seems pretty remorseless in those emails. His fate, getting injured, disappearing, it feels like a consequence, but his character isn't explored as deeply. He's almost just a plot device that ignites the fire.
Yeah, he serves his purpose in triggering the events, but the core drama is between Nate, Nick, and Lauren. Which leaves us, and you listening, with some tough questions, I think.
Definitely. First one. At what point, if any, do you think Nate or Nick, as he becomes crossed a line, When did he shift from being the victim seeking some kind of justice to becoming, well, the aggressor? Was his revenge ultimately justified in your eyes?
That's a huge one. Justification is tricky here. Second question. How do you feel about Lauren by the end? Despite her initial actions, is there any room for sympathy considering the sheer totality of her downfall? Why or why not?
Good question. It forces you to weigh the actions against the reactions. And finally, what do you think the long-term emotional implications are here for both Nick and Lauren after making choices that are so irreversible that cause so much destruction? What does life look like afterwards? Can those scars ever really fade?
Those are the lingering thoughts, aren't they? The human cost. Beyond the plot mechanics, what happens after the credits roll, so to speak.
Exactly. It's a story that really sticks with you.
It does!
If this story moved you or made you think, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube.